Rayman Raving Rabbids is an odd one. I know I'm pointing out the obvious here, but this is a really weird game. I'd even go as far as to say that Raving Rabbids is one of the, well, best games of all time. Don't believe me? Well, let's take a deep dive into the many wonders of what this superb minigame collection has to offer, shall we? Let's start off with the best part of the game, the story. Listen, I know this isn't a Dante's Inferno or Plato's The Republic or Crassius Curios the Lusty Argonian Maid, right? But it's still a masterpiece in storytelling, and here's why. It starts out with Rayman having a picnic with his good friends, a bunch of literal babies. Suddenly, some rabbits pops out from the ground and steals them, and it's up to Rayman to get them back by frolicking in some of the most fun activities I've ever witnessed. There's even a bird in here that poops on Rayman's nose, which is obviously a metaphor for something important, and in the end, after he's free, he voluntarily jumps back into the hole because he realized how good he had it in jail. Now, if you look past the extreme length of the story, you'll notice that it's filled to the brim with references, philosophical questions about the many facets of life, and the true answer to why we're even here. But screw all of that boring stuff, right? We're here to analyze the best part of the game, the minigames. There are a lot of them though, so let's just run through the most notable ones. The first game you'll play is Running on Beach with Package, and the only reason I'm mentioning this is because this one's a part of the types of games I don't like very much. I mean, they're still great, awesome even, but it's all that physical activity stuff that comes along in these ones. You have to move the controllers up and down really fast, and while this is a motion that I practice every day, maybe even twice a day if I feel like it, it's still really tiring. Also, for some reason the inputs never register correctly, and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. The next one is called Olympic Cow Slinging, and this one's pretty cool. It kind of makes you feel like a cowboy for, obvious reasons. I also like the shooter games. They're really good. It's like Call of Duty on crack. They even have perks hidden throughout the levels, making your gun shoot a lot, and also ones that shoot a wide. There's also a perk that makes you shoot a bad, and that one's by far the best since it adds another layer of challenge to the already hard levels, and even better, you don't have to collect that perk if you don't want to, which makes these minigames more like a short choose-your-own-adventure kind of deal. It's amazing how different two run-throughs can get just based on what you do in the minigame, and they're all like that too. This is one of the few games that has multiple parts to it, and it keeps getting better and more varied for each one. It's kind of amazing when you think about it, right? I mean, this is something that'd never work in the other Rayman games, but the inclusion of the bunnies made the devs rip the chains off and forced them to really dig deep into that well of creativity. Which is also how we got minigames like Bunny Potty Training, where you're helping the rabbits get some privacy so that they can learn to poop in peace. It's actually almost kind of touching the way this is presented. It's hard not to appreciate the subtle humor at display here too. The rabbits are actually kinda cute like that, which is why I also like the bunny rope minigame. It's so nice getting to see a close-up of them for once when they crawl on your screen. The only bad part is having to jump over that rope, but hey, it's worth it just to see their cute little faces. I suppose that's also why I like the bunny at the dentist minigame. Gotta protect them from these nasty little critters, right? Actually, I think the best minigames are the ones that directly involve the rabbits, but still, Old MacRabbit Had a Farm is a pretty good one since it makes you want to be a cow, for obvious reasons. The next game I'd like to talk about is Batman vs. the Pigs of Gotham City Island Resort Part 1. I like this partly because I don't like pigs, but also look at this sprawling landscape you're presented with. And the best part? You can go everywhere. See that beach off in the horizon? You can go there. See that farm on the other side? You have to go there eventually, but the point is that you can go there. See that mountain? You can go to the top of it. This minigame also highlights another of this game's strengths, the graphics. I mean, look at this! Isn't this the most believable Wii graphics you have ever seen? There's no way you'd think this was a game for the PC, or the Xbox, or the PlayStation, right? And believe it or not, this is consistent throughout the entire game. Wow! no! And it's not just the fidelity that is classic Wii either, because as I usually say, the graphics are one thing, but what really makes the game stand out is the art style. And like, it's there. The art style is actually there. It's truly amazing and by far the best part of the entire game. You can see the art style at play in the minigame Brain Maze too, where you roll a ball to the goal. Oh my god, I totally forgot about the costumes, dude. Alright, bear with me here because this is important. You can dress up Rayman. Anyways, Bunny Whack-A-Mole is also a great game. It takes the greatest real-life game ever and recontextualizes it through video game mechanics, which makes it an even greater game. Also, it's hard not to love something that lets you lovingly pat these furry creatures on their heads multiple times and rewards you for it. Honestly, I think I made my point pretty clear so far. I mean, I'm over a staggering 1,000 words into this script, so I'm pretty sure you understand my point by now. But anyways, I guess I could talk a bit more about the game in general, because there are some parts that are just that great. For one, I think we can all agree that this is a huge upgrade over the boring platforming and flawless execution of Rayman 3, right? I mean, I like that game, but at the end there, it really felt like Ubisoft needed to take the series in a new direction. And this is it. And it's awesome. A lot of people really didn't like this transition though, which I can't really understand. I mean, the age of 3D platformers was on a decline, and we wouldn't want Rayman to go away forever, now would we? So even if you were a fan of the platformer games, you should honestly be glad and thankful for this, since it allowed Rayman to live on. This was probably just their last hope for the character, and luckily the game did pretty well, which thankfully gave us a Raving Rabbids 2, and a bunch of other great bunny games that I'll be saving for some special occasions down the road. After Rabbids 2, they ditched Rayman though, which I honestly feel was for the best. I never really liked the character anyways. And that was recording the shortest video I will ever make.